You did it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start from the top there.
Yeah, we missed a lot.
Let's
Yeah.
keep starting from the top because I was really enjoying that.
You just want to keep hearing there are only two genders?
Yeah, I was super triggered because that stuff.
Yeah, so offensive. All right. And start.
They call me offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message because I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't.
So, what do you think he means by that? Saying that all the liberals are bigoted towards Muslims and think they're terrorists, or
What's the exact bar again?
I guess if every white guy's a bigot, then every Muslim's a terrorist. All the liberals must be right, or some shit like that.
Well, I mean, it could be real logic because in real logic, if you start with a fallacy, you can have anything follow it from it. So if he's a logician, he's saying, if this is true, then all these other things are true too. But my best guess is this man is not a logician.
Right?
I have
No idea.
That's the best-
Sorry if that was more academic than funny.
The hope is pathetic. Pro-choice pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no wonder protected. Where the American flags at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you.
Yeah. All right, pause it. I find this stuff so annoying. Not because I'm triggered, it's because it's like a lot of what conservatism is now or has become. Maybe it always was like this and I just wasn't sentient enough to realize it. But it's forgive the gendered language, and I know maybe I should update my verbiage, but these guys are such pussies. Like everyone's trying to hurt me, everyone's trying to get me, they're always attacking me. I can't do anything anymore, I can't even wear the flag, oh my god. It's so annoying. It's like ultimate tattletale crybaby shit. And like I know that us on the left can get a little overboard sometimes with that kind of thing, but we're nothing compared to these dudes.
Yeah,
This is so painful. Like they make me want to bully. Like I want to grab his hair and just give him a swirly. Like he builds the urge inside of me to bully.
How easy do you think it would be to rip one of those off?
If he's running, you just put your hand out.
I wanted to add that, like, the whole pro-gun thing, like, that's the macho thing. I remember a time when, like, using a firearm was... That also made you a pussy because you're supposed to be... If you're a real man, you're supposed to be fit and able to punch somebody in the face. If you go back to Kool Moe Dee's Wild Wild West, he said, guns, we don't like to use them unless our enemies choose them. Meaning the first act of violence should be a fist fight. Kyle Rittenhouse, like, he's a macho man. No, he's got a gun because he's a pussy.
He brings up guns here and talks about liberals want to take our guns, and then a couple moments later he'll actually say we aren't pushing guns. It's like you just said that they're trying to take the Second Amendment. What do you mean? So you're both pushing them and not pushing them? I'm confused.
It's contradictory, but it doesn't matter because it's all like, I don't know, he's just trying to... A lot of these conservative, I don't know, art? Is it art?
We'll call it art.
They're just, like, it's usually somebody's unhinged rant describing every oppression that they face and that their audience thinks they face. Well, like,
that's the thing is like
all Daily Wire's content is, I mean, their movie is like that too. It's just like listing off all the like seeing all the key words about how they're so oppressed with, like, the $1 million budget.
This doesn't actually get any play for like the left or liberals. It doesn't offend anyone. I'm sorry if I offend you, Tom MacDonald. It's like, you're not offending anyone by saying there are only two genders. I don't know why that gets so much play in right-wing circles. But whenever they say it, it goes super viral for them, and literally no one cares.
Well,
on the other side,
I think there are there are examples of people being triggered, and they focus on those as a means of generalizing a general triggerment. There are people who are very sensitive about it, and what they try to do is capture those moments and then say everybody's like this. And we should. The thing is, we should be sensitive to people who are easily triggered. What's the fucking point in hurting somebody's feelings? It's just bullying. So, and the other thing that I think is funny is that these two ding dongs here think that they're triggering Christians in general, because they're so sensitive about their Bible and their religious texts. But as a who like thinks about the fact that there is no God, we don't have free will, we're no different than these other things. I think that's really offensive and probably super triggering for these ding dongs. So the idea that they're triggering me is foolish.
Yeah, it's like all someone on the left has to do to trigger these people are like get tattoos, drink, and like every goth person kind of triggers a Christian. Are you crying and screaming?
What are TVs?
It's just probably the set they bought. Sometimes they rent a set and it's got these stuff like for influencers or whatever. You can rent this set and do your cool video.
I'll be
So
honest.
how are the police supposed to protect us from being offended? It's like you defunded the police and there's no one to protect you. Sorry, you're offended. What?
I just like the dark lighting here to hide how white this loser is.
I actually love this frame. The Shapiro on all these TVs is actually pretty funny. If I'm being honest, it's really funny.
That's because most of the people who watch his content are like 70 years old and they remember these TVs. Like, I would think that most young people have what are those?
The real CRTs.
For classic retro gaming.
There you go. But maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's something to that.
There's not. There's fucking not.
Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect. Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. Money like Liz on my fat. Don't be a whap.
Do you think they're in the same room?
Maybe. I think they would.
Dude, we're gonna have to rewind this one. Come on, DJ Selector, rewind this one. No, dude. Those. You got to rewind this.
He wants to hear those bars.
He wants to hear those bars?
Don't be a whap. Dog, it's a yarmulke.
Where is it?
Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect. Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Liz, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a whap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You go into prison, I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. Then I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1. This ain't
I love the internet line there, and no one knows you because no one offline knows who the fuck Tom MacDonald is.
Probably Ben Shapiro too. Probably Ben Shapiro. Like,
I've seen his billboards.
At least Ben Shapiro, has billboards. He has advertising. He has. He goes to colleges and does stuff like that. What the fuck does Tom MacDonald do?
Well,
I
wanted to add that line about you live with your parents. I think that sucks, because if you can live with your parents, that's family, and having intergenerational families living together is a beautiful thing. And I would guess that he says that because he couldn't live with his parents because he's so insufferable.
I forget much of his past.
You remember him playing violin for
Yeah.
That's a beautiful moment. I cry every time I see it.
Sure.
This ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs. We ain't gonna overdose.
If he overdoses and dies, it'll be the most ironic thing.
Do you think he does drugs? He's no,
Yes.
really.
Have you seen his face? He's wearing Louis Vuitton sunglasses.
Oh man.
I think Canadians actually read as exotic for American conservatives. Like that's them. That's them kind of branching out and looking outside their borders for entertainment. As like as far as they'll go is Canada. Yeah, everything's like I'm a tough guy and I'm a huge wimp. It's both at the same time. You're the one who's triggered. Put your pronouns out of my face. Yeah. I'm not triggered. You're triggered.
Oh man, look at him. He's a hottie.
Yeah, this entire song is that drill tweet saying, "Don't put it in the newspaper that I'm offended."
Go.
Yeah. I constantly ask myself, what would Ben do? Fuck, that was dope.
Yeah. Game changing?
Yeah, it's. I don't know how this is going to be topped. So, any particular points here that you enjoyed, Justin or Chuds?
I have thoughts, but I want to go last.
You have thoughts?
I have thoughts, but I want to go last because I want to hear what you say first.
I mean, my usual thing is just like, I don't get this whole trigger culture of the right, of thinking that they're offensive to people. I mean, I guess in the open, if you're like just two random people and someone does something to you or says something shitty to you, yeah, you might be offended. But if you're watching some white guy with weird braids and weird tattoos singing, "I don't care if I offend you," and you're offended, there's an issue. I don't think anyone's offended by either of these two people.
The whole thing like about the pronouns is so stupid. I mean, I do think people should respect pronouns, but it's like if somebody said, "Hi, my name's Steve," and then the person's like, "No, you were born Steven. I'm going to call you Steven." And then they think that that's like triggering somehow. It's just rude. It's just inconsiderate to not address.
It's weird.
It's strange.
Yeah, they've found a way to victimize being rude
And monetize the idea that they found a way to monetize this, because there are people who think, yeah, I would really like to be able to say whatever rude thing I want in the company of people I don't know. Because most people in the company of people you know, you will respect their pronouns. It's all about, I'm going to have disrespect for people I don't know.
Yeah.
The right wing kind of does this thing where they just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and something will eventually stick, and then they just triple down on that. Right, like the word "triggered," for example. There's so many things you could just go. I mean, terminal. You could probably think back even like the last like 10, 15, 20 years of all the outrages the right wing has like put into the media spheres, like the war on Christmas. You know, just I mean, there's so many things like that.
When they defunded the NEA back in the 90s, the conservatives have always been, anti-art. There's a guy, Andre Serrano, and he did a piece of work called Piss Christ, where he's put a cross in a jar of urine, and the conservatives were so triggered by this thing, which just is a cross in a vat of urine, and it's like, how is that triggering? And then these people are thinking they're triggering us.
They
now.
must have been so oppressed by that jar of piss.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I still can't believe that the right are the ones thinking that the left is triggered, and that the left is the one whose facts hurt our feelings. It's so backwards. It's like it's exactly opposite of the way the world is, but they're insisting that this is the way the world is.
Someone was saying in my Twitter replies that it's like something about Ben Shapiro, and he's like, no matter what he does, he can't be as cringe as like the SJWs. And I'm like, he is an SJW. What the fuck are you talking about? Are we thinking of the same person?
Yeah, totally.
They'll just say anything. They're always looking for something that'll stick. I think that's more the strategy overall than saying reacting to their something organic that happened within their audience, right? So they keep constantly throw out outrages, right? And some of them rise to the top as like the things that the audience responds to the most. And whatever those are, they build like an ideology backwards from that because they're trying to, in a way, like the right pleases their audience more than the left does. And so like something like Triggered rose to the top. So they're tripling down on it. Pronouns. Oh my God. This is a thing that wasn't like this big of a, I mean, it's always been an issue, but not this much of a pop culture issue until the last couple of years, right? The idea that pronouns are the scariest thing on earth. It's so stupid. But it hit with some people, and so like they're just tripling down on it, and it's just like feedback loop of bullshit.
Have you guys seen FD Signifier's video about white rappers?
No.
It's so good because he hit some good points, but he's very generous to white rappers. But I think white people have always ruined hip hop, and I know people like love the Beastie Boys, but their first album was just the same kind of stuff. They took hip hop, which is like super important culture, and they just like bastardized it and they made fun of it. There are some good songs on that. There's some innovation on License to Ill, but generally it's songs about how they want girls in their kitchen, and it's a lot of sexism. It was all about triggering people and just being crass. There was no point to it. They did mature later on, but if you look at it in the context of, at the same time, you had Public Enemy actually using the medium to like speak about the ills in their culture. The Beastie Boys came out with a song, "You Got to Fight for Your Right to Party." It's like not in the spirit of what hip hop is. So Public Enemy had to come back with "Party for Your Right to Fight." Yeah. White people have always ruined hip hop. People love Eminem, but when that first album came out, I was like, he sounded like. And I was like, I'm sorry if that's triggering, but with few exceptions, white people have always ruined the medium, and that's the most triggering and offensive thing about Ben Shapiro and Tom MacDonald being in this shit.
Well, they're not rapping though. It's not like they're trying to mimic the actual like music form, more of just parody it in a way without being funny, I guess, or without the intention of being funny.
You could tell what Ben Shapiro's thing is because he said that hip hop wasn't music, or he calls it rap. When Malcolm Nance criticized him, that he would accept it because he's going to go to sleep on his bed made of money. So he has no principles. He'll just do whatever he can to, boost his brand and get his voice out there. He is the most unprincipled person I think I can think of. Maybe Jordan Peterson is worse, but Jordan Peterson is like psychotic, like he's ill at this point. Ben Shapiro is just cruel and stupid.
People paid way too much attention to Jordan Peterson during the Canadian Title IX or whatever it was fight that gave him this whole fucking persona that he is now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. And it's annoying because he's not smart. In my opinion.
It's like how you define intelligence. There's actual intelligence, like the definition that you can score well on an IQ test, but there's also social intelligence, which is your ability to manipulate people, and he's got that intelligence because he's really good at that. Yeah.
I mean, if you can manipulate people by telling them that you had dreams about your grandma shoving her pubes in your face, go for it. I don't care. Whatever.
It works. I guess it works.
Yes, it works.
Don't knock it till you try it, I guess.
Have you heard the recording of him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 50 times.
I listen to it all the time. It's very
it's
stimulating, let me just put it this way.
Yeah. Anyways, time's running out on this. You were right, Terminal.
I'm always right.
So,
how much time you got left?
2 minutes 30, pretty much.
All right. Let me wrap it up then, because I got something. All right, this is my take that you might not agree with, especially at first. I think this video is inspiring, not aspirational, but these guys are media demons, right? This video is a meme project designed to go viral. Okay, it was designed to hit #1 on iTunes. It was designed to rile up their fans, and it was designed to annoy the hell out of us. They got to dominate the discourse for a day, and they captured everybody's attention. On the left, I think that we're often reactive to what's happening around us, and we're not generating news about us and our ideals. The majority of the time, we're reacting. And what Shapiro and the Daily Wire is doing here, they're creating their own media cycle that revolves completely around them. And it's multifaceted. You got Shapiro rapping and being self-deprecating. That's part of the conversation. You've got a white Canadian conservative rapper. That's another angle to the conversation. You have them forcing themselves to top of iTunes. That's another part of the conversation. There's so many things to talk about with this that are just sucking up all the oxygen online, basically, and making everything about them. They're creating their own media cycle, and it doesn't matter if the reactions are good or bad, as long as there are a lot of reactions, right? What's the saying? All press is good press as long as they spell your name right. And I think it's true. And I think that creating news cycles and stealing attention, especially in this country where we're the media and entertainment capital of the world, it's pretty valuable and important. So right now, I think the right wing is better at creating its own media cycles constantly. Like look what Texas is doing right now, just like try to tempt a civil war just for the media attention, right? And I think we need to compete. I think that we should be pulling outlandish stunts, going viral, acting big and crazy, and snatching up as much attention as possible at all times. I think that we have the ability to do that. I think we're talented enough to do that. And I don't know what the equivalent of this is for us, but we should be doing it every day. I think that we should dominate the media. I think that we should create our own cycles and just force everyone to look at us. And if we capture everybody's attention and then we talk our leftist socialist shit, a lot more people are going to hear it.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for joining me for this. And
Thank
I'll
you, Jazz.
talk to you
Thank
later.
for forcing us to watch this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bye.
See ya.
Recording stopped.